What's going on, people? Welcome to another live session with your boy Phrankleen. If you're watching this as a playback, this is a live stream. Um, if you like what I'm about, don't forget to hit that like button and don't forget to bang on the subscribe button um, and hit that little bell button, right? So, what that does is select all when you click on the bell button. So, you get an alert when I go live, when I upload new content and stuff like that. SL. What's good? How are you? Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Dose of David. What's going on, bro? Okay. These episode is sponsored by Sendwave. Sendwave is basically an app that you can download within the two shakes of a duck's tail on your mobile devices, be it iPhone or Android. So it lets you send money from Italy, Spain, Ireland, UK, US to Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. All right. If you use my promo code Phrankleen, as it's spelled on my channel, you get £5, $5, and or €5 added to your very first Sendwave transaction. All right. Don't forget to download Sendwave, and you can share my promo code with your friends and families. Right. For those of you that were selected during the course of the previous Sendwave giveaway a few days ago, I believe your accounts have been credited. If you get to watch this, make sure you check, okay? So, yeah. What's going on, people? What's going on, everybody? If you can hear me, you can see me, give me the thumb button. Give me the thumb button. Agbadi Musa. What's up, man? Paris. What's going on, people? Nah, hit the like button. Hit the like. Hey, Mobolicious, bros. I hail my big bro. Bros BJ. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. The like button. Yeah. Nice one. Nice one. Nice one. Okay. Okay. So today's episode is basically about I would try to be as brief as possible, right? It's basically about a I've had a couple of similar emails in the past where somebody sent me, um, um, people give me thumb up, thank you, but hit that like button. Right, there's 107 people online. Don't forget to hit the like button. It helps us to gain traction. Okay, so the algorithm reacts to that once they see that you're liking the video and sharing it on Facebook and stuff. Anyway, so today's story is basically from a gentleman who was really moaning in his email, and I've had similar ones in the past where people talk about, oh, they believe it's a bad idea to bring your wife. I'm sure this is a common story within the African community, so it's not like you're hearing it from me for the first time, but I'm just going to share a bit of a background and share my take on it. So they're banging on about it's a bad idea, you know, don't bring your wife to the diaspora. If you bring your African wife to the diaspora, it could be the UK, the US, and stuff. It would turn out bad for you. You're more than likely going to lose the woman. The marriage is going to get shattered and all that stuff. And having said that, I've heard numerous, stories where people have, over the years living abroad, you've heard stories where, oh, Mr. X brought, Miss Y, his partner from maybe Nigeria or from Ghana or from whatever. And then they get absorbed into the Western life, and then, something goes completely left in the relationship. And it's usually attributed to, oh, it's because they brought the woman from Africa. Here is my position. But before I share my position, actually, I'm going ahead of myself now. So the guy said he was with this woman um, back in Africa. So they were dating, they had a good life and stuff. So he managed to get a visa, and then he decided to travel abroad, right? and he said it was a bit rough. The classic immigrant story, trying to find his feet and stuff. So she was back home, right? And said whilst he was here running about 2 3 odd jobs to survive and all that, he was remitting money back home to the woman, to for upkeep and a monthly upkeep and all that stuff. He said so they were according to him, things were going good, they were doing fine. And then, I mean, come on, man, it's normal. If you're leaving in that sort of distance, you're over 7,000 miles away or more, and your missus is somewhere, I think the best thing for any couple would be to be under the same roof, to be together, right? So eventually, he filed to bring her in. She joined, and then they were both living in the States. It's in the States, right? They're both living in the States. And then he said, as soon as she landed, they were able to hook her up within the African community. She got a caregiver's job, which is very common, right? A lot of our women do it. And then she started making bread. But before then, she was at home for like almost a year, and then she started working and then worked as a caregiver, and then basically went down the health care direction, got a few more qualifications and stuff, started earning. And so marital disputes started, and a lot of things. And then, according to him, she changed completely. She became Americanized and westernized mentally, and she basically tore the marriage to shreds. And the whole thing was absolutely shattered. And so, of course, in the process, the man lost a lot of finance and, ruined his life pretty much. He watches my channel, but he claims that he doesn't really comment. So he's just basically trying to pick up bits and pieces of his life. He's 49 this year. He'll be 50 next year. So he said it's been really, really rough for him and stuff like that. But I then, usually when I read stories, sometimes I reply people and I look at it, I just like, this is juicy. I'll talk about this. I'll share my view. But I then banged out an email to him, and I asked the question. I said, do you mind just sharing with me just give me a bit of an insight into, the relationship as to what really led to the breakup. Forget about you brought her in from Africa. I think we've established that. What really led to the cave in? And this brother, if he's watching this, because I told him I was going to make a video anyway, he just, basically, my thought process was along the lines, yeah, but I'm not psychic. I couldn't make things up. It could, relationship could end for irreconcilable differences. It could be because of cheating, whatever, right? There's a plethora of reasons why that can happen. But then, bullseye, he said, so, when she got to the States, things were going good. He's gone to work. He comes back home. He meets his food. If he wakes up in the morning, before going out, if he needs to pound her to dust, she busts her legs wide open. She's his wife. That's normal, right? If he comes back home from work, if he wants to get into the slippery slope, he's getting it, right? Food's on the table. His semolina is ready. The poundo is ready. He's banging in jollof rice. He's whacking in his Guinness. Jobs are good and everything's looking good. But, so, he preferred her in that sort of cocoon. So, when she got a job, she adapted into the American society. He said one day she came home and she said, such and such, please, can you, I'm tired or something like that. Can you please get the tilapia fish and start to descale it? And he lost his cool. And then I think she was like, oh, I'm trying to sort the kids out or something. And then it led to a major argument. And then she was like, oh, if you can't help me with that, I'm not going to be able to cook. So he said, one, That was a major. So he was, the ego in him, a classic African dude, man. He was pissed. So it's like, you know what, stuff him, man. I'll get takeaway. I'm sure he's burning inside. He missed that semolina he could have enjoyed that night. So he was angry. He opted for takeaway, right? And then subsequent arguments. And then she then kind of moved quickly, started driving, got a driver's license, and then got our own car. And then he was trying to say, no, I have the 4x4. We use my family car. I mean, my car is a family car that we moved from A to B. And the wife said, no, I want my own car. Argument number two. Oh, was it American? He said, so you've gotten. See, I'm going somewhere, and I'm still gonna break this down. I'm going somewhere with this. So he was like, oh, so you see, he didn't. He said, oh, so his excuse was, I said we should save money, but she wasn't prepared because of course, she works somewhere, in the far jurisdiction from where they live, and she said, okay, I've saved money from my own income to buy myself a car. So he said, there was a pastor. As soon as I read pastor, man, you can imagine, my hands were already shaking. A pastor got involved, but she wouldn't listen. And then, of course, you would always know people, man. One or two persons got involved. He interpreted that as those people were being toxic. What they told her was, you've got the right to buy your own car. Why should your husband prevent you from buying a car? Do you see what I'm saying? And then she bought her own car, which means more freedom, right? Which means, because of course, naturally, when you have a car, when you're mobile, you can go further in terms of distance. You can probably, that friend you normally wouldn't want to get on public transport to go see, probably think, oh, let me swing by, drive a quick 10 miles to go say hello. So he would call her, maybe he's out and about and coming up, where are you? And she's like, oh, I've cooked, the soup is in the fridge or freezer or whatever. I've put it in the microwave for you, warm the soup and just make you a pounded yam. He wants fresh soup. So he liked the idea of, he would come home, she would bust out the empty pot and cook. You better be following this story. I'm not even joking. Because this guy, he finished me with his grammar and reasoning. So it's very important that I'm not biased. So he wants her to bang out fresh soup when he wants it, and then have his toothpick ready, and then, mommy Lagwaja, come here, touch your toes, let me do the Lord's work, let me take you on a journey. So, of course, so that, so let's kid it out, you get me? So the whole thing went sideways pretty much, and then it would give birth to more and more argument and stuff. So he has his own cohorts in the background that will be telling him, man, that woman is toxic, blah, 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 all of that. It's because she's Americanized and stuff like that. So the long and short was, there was a pile of more and more arguments, more and more arguments, more and more arguments within the relationship. So the whole thing eventually, she basically used the American feminine template against him. But there is something though. He killed me off in the last paragraph, and he said, when the frustration was a bit too, she wasn't letting up. Wasn't letting up in terms of she wasn't letting me pound her. And so I think he got some action outside. So that must have exacerbated everything. Of course, the woman closed the shop. She dropped the shutter on him. The old vagina was out of service. And Alayi lost his cool. And there must have been a few altercations and they got a bit physical and stuff like that. So she used the American template, the power that the West gives to a woman, right? And she went to work on him. So the long and short is she took the brother to the cleaners, right? So you can understand where the story ended. But his interpretation is it was a bad idea that he had brought her from Africa because she was well behaved. Now, bang, you get the gist, right? You get the gist. Now, let me say very quickly, because I don't want to, sit on this for too long. It's a very common, prevalent, story within our community where you say, women they've been westernized and stuff. Yes, is there a negative Western influence on some? Let me say some, okay? Because I don't want to generalize. On some of our women, answer is yes, okay? There are women out there who. So I don't think somebody needs to actually come to the West to actually be able to show you their true colors. The West is just that. There's a massive cultural difference, a different environment. It amplifies what's already inside that woman. It's an enabler. The Western environment is then an enabler for that woman to be able to play out, the toxicity inside the woman. Having said that, let's go back to Africa. The African environment, most women, 339 people watching me. Give me the like button. Hit the like button. Come on, man. Hit that like button. Show your love, man. Let that number go up to about 200, man. Hit the like button. There's a lot of you watching me. Hit that like button. Okay, thank you. I appreciate you watching me, but hit the like button. Thank you so much, man. Wonderful people. Thank you. So the idea of don't bring your woman. Here's what I'm trying to say. We believe that, again, I don't know, I'm trying to find the best way to say this, that if you bring your woman to the West, so we admit that the West might be deadly in terms of even ourselves as men or as women, as whatever, right? So because does that mean we should ask ourselves that why do we even live in the West to start with? Do you get what I'm saying? So I don't think what the West does is the West doesn't cater to some of the things that we've adopted back home or some of the toxicity that we can get away with back home is all I'm trying to say. So back home, you can get away with patriarchy, right? A lot of women exist in the confines of their marriages in Africa out of fear, out of what would the society say. Even some of them can't go back to their, to their parents. Some of them can't go back to their parents. Some of them can't go back home. Some of them, they are really caged by what would the religious leaders say, what would the society say. But somebody actually said to me that there is a growing trend of divorce in Nigeria, for example, that a lot of women are actually breaking out of really toxic relationships. So for me personally, and I stand to be corrected, people have different views. For me personally, the idea of when you bring in a woman from Africa to the West, it's not exactly the problem. It's the motive. So when the man brings his woman and then you're basically trying to cage that woman, you see her as a property. You don't want her to move. You don't want her to make progress. You don't want her to, for example, like this man's story, your wife wants to buy a car. She worked and saved money. But you're saying, oh, you must use, I get it. Couples talk about finances and, but if sometimes, having a car is a necessity. So if she's got her own job, she might need that car to get from A to B. But a toxic mindset, you would think, oh, that car would be an avenue for the woman maybe to go and see a man. But really and truly, let's let the truth be told, man. You don't need to own a car to frolic around if you want to. Do you get what I'm saying? So, and then another thing is, I've said it before, most of us as men, and this is not man bashing, I'm just trying to be as objective as possible. Most of us come from backgrounds where even when you have female siblings, you grow up in homes where you as a boy or as a younger or older one, you're not allowed to step in the kitchen. You only go into the kitchen to drop your plate or pick your plate of food, right? The females are groomed, not trained, they are groomed. They are in fact groomed and prepared for marriage. It's like that's why in Africa, it's very common in Nigeria where if a female, if very very common, there might be people that think differently. If a female goes to university, she gets a master's degree, da 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 da. The parents are like, okay, 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 yeah, fine. It's time to get married. That's why the society, I'll use somebody like Linda Ikeji, a very known blogger, right? I don't know her as a person, but apart from, I'm not talking about Linda Ikeji's personal life, but Linda Ikeji is a very, very successful blogger. And 90% of the toxicity that's thrown across Linda Ikeji is Linda Ikeji, Linda, then Ikeji. The 90% of the toxicity is from the males. Oh, she's a billionaire or whatever, right? But she basically is seen as incomplete in our society because, oh, you're not married. You should be under the umbrella of a man. Oh, you're not this, you're not that. It's like, oh, a man must dominate you. I think, whatever, however somebody wants to live their life, let them live their life. High divorce rate in UK is alarming because you can survive on your own because of welfare from the government. Absolutely. Absolutely. So the Western is the same thing in the state. Thank you, Pastor Edwin. It's the same template across the West, like in the States and stuff. It's an enabler of toxicity, though. So I think a lot of perhaps women and men, likewise, but maybe women in this context, people have to be properly well informed because I particularly within the Black community, there isn't much, regard for how do you say? I always talk about the union of the black family, father, mother, structure, children. They don't care, man. They don't care. In fact, they prefer for your your family unit to be broken, and then the woman gets vulnerable. It makes it easy for the state to target you, or target your children, if that makes sense. People said divorce have gone up with stimulus checks. So that's what I think. Some people would say it's better to keep your women and stuff, but I think we need to undo the mentality of seeing women, your wife, whomsoever you love, as your property. It's wrong. It's very, very toxic. Do you get what I'm saying? So yeah. My Nigerian friend graduated uni in the UK, got married, and still her dad would not let her leave his house in Nigeria. I think in the end, she just left with her hubby, moved away. They are happy now. It gives her trigger and relationships. So that's pretty much what I think the brunt of the problem is. If a lot of people, like I've got a gentleman that sent me an email. He said his woman, whilst he was here in the UK, his woman was in Nigeria, but she used to live with her in-laws, his own parents. She was living in the same house with her own parents. So what do you think? The wife is going to keep her head down. She's around her in-laws. He didn't even get the chance to get to know her properly. He traveled abroad. And then when she got abroad, the abroad life is different, Everyone's going out to grind. Everyone's you've gone to work, she's gone to work, and then you think your ego is being brushed if your woman says bring the fish out or can you help me hoover the house, and those things shouldn't be big deal for us. It just stems out of, like I say, if your woman is earning more than you or whatever, it shouldn't be a problem. It starts to become a problem when, hold on, what's this? Phrankleen, I respect your opinions, but you have gone too far left in your approach using words like patriarchy and toxicity. How did I go far left? Of course, there is patriarchy. So, wait, you're hearing that from me for the first time. You're telling me there's no male toxicity. There's also female toxicity, don't get me wrong. So, I don't know what you're on about, my brother, right? So it's not really Phrankleen saying, well, I'm saying it, but it's out there for you to know. Yeah, somebody said 50-50. That's the brunt of the problem, really. Unfortunately, there is very little community in the black community in the US. Keep your woman out of black churches, man. I'll give you that much. Yes, I absolutely agree with that statement. I absolutely agree with that statement. Oh, somebody said, drop the link. I want to talk. There is no link on this one today. I'm streaming from my mobile phone. Maybe I can do a follow-up to this over the weekend. I've been with my husband since 1998. He brought me to the UK in 2005, and I bet he hasn't changed since we met. Neither have I. Thank you, Model Tony, right? So, yeah, a lot of people are misguided. And don't get me wrong, I'm sharing my views. There's plethora of reasons why some people go sideways, and some people decide to crash their relationships. Some people, if you marry, let me tell you this though, it depends on who you marry though. As a man, no disrespect, if you marry someone and don't for somebody from back home who has not seen money, the state funds here will see to them as a big achievement. Somebody who's come from a background where they manage to struggle to get visa or whatever and then come abroad. The public funds here is seen as mega money. Believe me, that public funds is seen as mega money. And they lose their mind. They would, because of the state funds and benefits, they don't care. They kick the man out. And, so I can have the house to myself and all that stuff. This is why people do that stuff, man. Hit the like button, please. Hit the like button. So the life in the diaspora is basically 50-50, We both chime in, we support ourselves. There's got to be mutual understanding, honestly. Yeah, somebody said it happens to women who are not virtuous. Of course. But like I said, you see, in our society, back in Africa, right? Because of the cultural difference, the way things are done, right? A woman might not. So many people are in marriages where they are emotionally dead. Do you get what I'm saying? They're emotionally dead in that relationship. They're just keeping up appearances. Because what would my mommy say? What would my dad say? What would my uncle say? What would my auntie say? They can't even opt to leave. They're broke, or they are dependent on the man because they are rearing kids and stuff like that. They are pretty much caged. So you don't know the ability, what that woman is capable of. If she gets into an environment whereby she's able to spread her wings and it's like, I can go get my own job. And then she starts to collect her own paycheck and like, this is my own money. It changes the mindset. And this is freedom. It is what it is, man. In Nigeria, if a man busts into this room and was beating a woman up, let's call a spade, and you were beating a woman up here right now, and she tries to call an emergency, what emergency number? What police officer is going to come here in 10-20 minutes, right? But if you do that in America or in the UK and she bangs on the phone number, boom, and they be there in 10 minutes, you might get a rude awakening. Do you see what I'm saying? So, in a sense, they have a voice. You get what I'm saying? So that's all I'm trying to get at. Anyways, guys, that's me done. I personally, what do you think? Let's keep the conversation going on below. I don't think I hear that a lot, and I'm not going to disregard, you see? Thank you. Somebody said before I go, somebody said that caught my attention. In Nigeria, domestic violence is termed family matter. Yeah, you know, so it's normalized, which is not good. So you do gbas, you strike on a woman here or in the States or whatever, and they go off tangent and you know they cry for help. You dig? It might not even be the woman. It might be in the heat of the moment. Maybe the son, your child that's going to school in the West, that's educated, just calls the police to help mommy. Hello, 911. And then the police show up at the address. And then, boom, you get in trouble. And then they start talking about, oh, he brought her from Africa, man. You brought that on yourself, though. Two things that's been working for me. Let me read that. Since I moved my wife over, I tried to help her with her career progress. And secondly, mix well with her people. I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. You've got to be your wife's. You've got to be your wife's number one fan. You've got to be vice versa, right? You've got to be your man's number one fan. That's why the whole maybe insecurity, inferiority complex, and all that stuff. And again, the background, the mentality. If you come from a society, I think we grew up in a society where it's been ingrained in you that it's better for your ego as a man to be above your woman. If circumstances dictate that you're earning more than your wife, so be it. Big deal. But to prefer that you are there and then she's suppressed, some would argue otherwise and say, oh, if a woman's got money, she might do X, Y, Z. But I don't know, man. Frankly, this matter is a 50-50 case. Both parties got to play their role properly. That's what I'm saying. Optimus Graphics. That's what I'm saying, my brother. I hope he's a dude. That's what I'm saying. We're saying the same thing. Somebody said I brought my husband from. So, Phrankleen, women also use the advantage to maltreat. Did you hear what I said? I appreciate that some of you might have joined midway. Don't get me wrong, okay? What I'm saying is, there are women, I've said it at the start and I'm going to say it now. There are women who are toxic. However nice a man is, however great, however lovely you are, there are toxic women out there that will throw everything back in your face. They are selfish. They are thieves. They would try to destroy the man. So, every woman is unique to the man that's in the relationship, with them. If you spot that person as that type of a woman, you can see a clear-cut evidence. The only thing I'll say to you is put your affairs in order, man. Put your affairs in order. That's all I'm just going to say to you. Put your affairs in order so that you don't wake up to a bogus, a big surprise. That's all I'm going to say.